I think the obvious first storyline, and perhaps being British even more so, would be to see how Jude Bellingham plays at Real Madrid. I think he's a different type of player to some of the other English players who've been in Spain, partly because of his experience playing in Germany before. So that idea of him going abroad, I think, isn't so daunting for him. I think he's a genuinely wonderful footballer who, given the chance to develop and given the if you like, the responsibility and the position within the Real Madrid team, I think could be an absolutely fantastic player who could be at Real Madrid for the best part of a decade. So I think Jude Bellingham is the really obvious storyline for me in terms of someone who's really gonna shine. I'd also love to see a second season from Antoine Griezmann at the kind of level that he was at last year. If you're getting into double figures for both assists and goals and playing with the consistency of quality that he's shown, I think the sense as well that he's at his place now. Whereas at Barcelona, it always felt like he was at the only club in the world where he encountered a player who does what he does better than him. And I think now at Atletico Madrid, with the support of Simeone, I think with the freedom to play, with the understanding to be able to change games and alter the way that he plays depending on the circumstances, I'd be really fascinated to see whether he can reproduce the form of the second half of last season for the whole of next season as well, and maybe lead Atletico Madrid into being successful. A third storyline, I think it will be interesting to see whether or not Barcelona can maintain the level of last season. And I think the key thing here isn't so much a question of whether they can maintain the level of play from last year as whether they can maintain the level of results as last year. Barcelona were a slightly counter-cultural Barcelona team last year, winning a lot of games 1-0. 11 of their league games were won 1-0. Based a lot on their defensive solidity, based a lot on the fact that they didn't concede goals. None of these are things that you traditionally associate with Barcelona. And I think they're not things you traditionally associate with the manager Xavi Hernandez either. And so this year, I expect him to try and evolve the style a little bit, for the team to be a little bit more open, a little bit more expansive. And so then the question comes, of course, which is, how do you do that without losing the solidity of last season? I think it's going to be really interesting how Xavi tries to redefine Barcelona and whether that continues to be successful.